Well, the Eagles were finally back from the bye week, and Nick Sirianni told the media today he looked at all aspects of the Eagles during the bye and found one big thing they really need to work on. Plus, Kevin Byard, he's going to be tasked with covering Travis Kelce. Here is his plan to slow down the star tight end. We finally have some very good news on the Eagles' own tight end, Dallas Goedert, and fresh practice footage of players you've been missing and wanting to see out there. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. You know, there are actually a lot of similarities between the 2017 Philadelphia Eagles and the 2023 Philadelphia Eagles, including the fact that both were 8-1 through 9 games. And both played the Chiefs during the regular season. Although hopefully the one big difference between these two teams is the fact that the 2023 team will actually win on Monday night when they face the Kansas City Chiefs, because the 2027 team, they lost after scoring with 9 seconds left to make it a one-score game, getting the onside kick, but then of course failing the Hail Mary. It's actually pretty crazy. You go back to 2013, Philadelphia has not beaten the Kansas City Chiefs in their past 4 tries. And since Andy Reid left the city of brotherly love and signed with the Kansas City Chiefs, they've never beaten their former coach or his new quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. If you're like me, you're probably going to side with Jason Kelce, who said it's finally time to beat Big Red.
Yeah, I love Andy. I would. You know, there's 2 teams that I haven't beaten this year that are on the schedule, and it's the Chiefs and the Seahawks. So yeah, these are. Yeah, I'd love to get a win. Try not to make that the main focus. You try and just focus on, the little keys to victory and doing your job and staying locked in. But yeah, it's Andy's had our number since he left Philadelphia.
Now, the challenge to finally beat Big Red and, of course, Patrick Mahomes began today as the Eagles were back at the NovaCare complex and back practicing finally after their bye week, and you won't want to miss the latest injury updates. But first, I'm going to send this Hurts Brown 2023 long-sleeve t-shirt to the one commenter who correctly predicts the Eagles' Chiefs score and Jalen Hurts' passing numbers down below in the comment section of this video. Of course, if multiple people get it right, then I'll do the random spinning wheel to select our winner. If you want the details, they're down below in the description box. Now, perhaps the most important news today is the fact that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's parents are meeting at the Eagles. I'm just kidding. Don't click away. That's not the most important thing. We could all care less. Nick Sirianni did tell the media today that the coaching staff is using the Super Bowl tape to prepare for Reid and Mahomes.
Do you find yourself at sometimes doing that? Yeah, but you got to remind yourself that, hey, this is our job is to get prepared for this game. What happened in the past, and we'll learn from our mistakes. We'll get better from the things that we did well. But yeah, I'd be lying to say if I would be like, if this would have just happened or that would have just happened every once in a while. It's not, but we're not dwelling on it.
And speaking of Andy Reid, he spoke to the media about Philadelphia today and echoed the fact that Philadelphia's overall team, it's basically the same team from back in February.
No, I wouldn't say there's much difference. Those receivers are still plenty good, and their quarterback's a good football player, as is the running back. So I know they had an injury to the tight end, so that would be a little bit different, but they've got good players in those spots. So, and then defensively, it's really basically the same unit. A couple of those guys are a little bit older, but you can't tell. So 91 and 55. Were there when I was there, and they are they seem to get better with age.
Now, both teams obviously watched film over the past couple of weeks. However, Nick Sirianni said he took a good long look at both the offense, the defense, also the special teams, injuries, play calling, and he came out with the fact that they need to gel more as a team off the football field.
We just talked about how important our fundamentals and our detail is, continuing on that. And then just how important it is that we continue to gel and become more and more of a team. That you're not only trying to grow on the field, you're trying to grow off the field as well. And so just reminding them of, how do you do that? You do that by spending time with each other, by competing against each other.
Now listen, this football team is obviously very, very close, but Sirianni did make a point that cohesiveness tends to lend itself to more wins. And you look back at the 2017 team, I don't think I've ever seen a closer group than that team was. If the Eagles can duplicate that locker room over here in 2023, they should go pretty darn far. The one person who's not going very far is going to be Nakobe Dean the next couple of weeks. He was officially and finally placed on IR today during Nick Sirianni's press conference, according to Eagles Twitter. You see it there. However, there was a big surprise. They did not put Dallas Goedert on IR, which might indicate that Goedert could be back sooner rather than later, because if you go on IR, you miss a minimum of 4 weeks. This would mean that Dallas Goedert could actually play 4 weeks from now against the Dallas Cowboys down there in Jerry World versus having to wait till the 5th week, come back from IR to play the Seattle Seahawks. Now, fresh off of his forearm surgery, Dallas Goedert was back at practice today, albeit not in pads, and walking alongside his best friend, who's also an injured Eagle, in Avonte Maddox. Here's to hoping they both get back sooner rather than later. For what it's worth, Grant Calcaterra was practicing today after being out with a concussion, so that should help with the tight end depth going up against the Chiefs. Now, although the Eagles star tight end is going to be out for this matchup, the Chiefs star tight end and the person you've heard way too much about in the media, Travis Kelce, he is going to play. And most of us think Kevin Byard is going to be tasked with guarding Travis Kelce for the majority of this game. Byard, though, was asked about this in his press conference today, and he said it's a lot harder than it looks.
The best tight end, especially in our generation, I would think all generations, I would put him and Grunt up there with some of the best tight ends that ever played a game. He's an elite route runner, very crafty, very savvy. He doesn't look like he's the fastest guy, but he has deceptive speed, built to speed kind of guy. And, it's kind of like backyard football a little bit. He's gonna change his routes based upon what your leverage is, and he has so much great rapport with Patrick Mahomes, and kind of knows, he feels scramble drills, like they have different things that they practice as far as like when he scrambles, where he goes and things like that on his route. So it's gonna be a tough cover, and I don't care who you put on him, corner, safety, backer. It's just tough to cover, so it's just one of those deals where you just got to keep straining, because his first route might be covered, but it's the second route that hurts everybody, and then he obviously is very good with the ball in his hands.
Now, also worth noting is the fact that Philadelphia not only back on their practice field, as we've shown you, but back in pads as well, and look who's there among them. It's Bradley Roby. Yes, he is finally back. He told everyone that he would be, and he should be good to go after the bye, and I think Roby makes a significant impact in the secondary, being the fact that he's a savvy veteran and built to play the slot. I know they put Eli Ricks in there a couple of times. He was good against the Dolphins. He was really bad against CeeDee Lamb and the Dallas Cowboys. But bringing Roby back, I think, is going to have a big impact. Nick Sirianni echoed that today.
Yeah, I just think he's got a lot of experience, and he's sticky in coverage. He's smart. He's tough, and so if he's available, which we'll see, that'll be helpful for our football team. If not, he's just going to continue to work hard to get back on the field to help us going down the stretch.
Not to be outdone, look who's also back. It's Cam Jurgens, and there he is lining up at the right guard spot with the starting offensive lineman. A very good sign that he will be activated from the 21-day practice window. Hasn't officially been activated yet. Still a little bit of time. Probably going to happen anytime soon. Maybe by the time you watch this video, he'll be officially activated. But we told you Cam Jurgens was going to be back, and there's video proof that he is. Now we'll see how much of an impact Cam Jurgens being back on the practice field is going to have on the Eagles' rushing attack. They've not been very good the past couple of weeks. Remember DeAndre Swift early on, the Vikings game, 150-plus yards? That's kind of disappeared. For what it's worth, Jason Kelce did speak about the rushing attack today and reiterated it's very hard to get right.
We're not really executing at the level that we have in the past. I think, we're doing some things good. I don't think it's any one player. That's one of the difficult things about the run game. Everybody's really got to be in sync and hitting blocks, and if it's one guy here, one guy there, it only takes one guy missing a block to ruin a run play, as opposed to you can throw it up to A.J. Brown. He's going to be high percentage chance he'll come down with it. Doesn't matter what anybody else does. To really have a good run game, it's a collective effort. Offensive line, tight ends, running backs, and I think that we're close. We've had some really good games. We've stalled out a few games, but I think that knowing the guys that we have in this building and the fact that we'll just keep working at it, that eventually it'll start clicking again.
For what it's worth, Boston Scott was back on the field after missing the Cowboy game due to a personal reason. He hasn't gotten a lot of reps so far this year, but I'm curious to see how that not only impacts his playing time against the Chiefs, but also Rashad Penny's, who got 2 overall snaps 2 weeks ago against the Cowboys. Now, I said back on Wednesday the same thing I'm going to say right now. The Eagles have to be able to run the football very effectively in order to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. It's a very good defense, it's a good pass defense, it's a good run defense, and it's going to be cold, wet, and rainy. Low of 34, 65% chance of rain at Arrowhead. I think the team that runs the football bettor is going to have really the highest chance to go ahead and win on Monday night. Historically, it's been the Eagles. The Chiefs are not a great rushing football team. Here's to hoping DeAndre Swift, maybe Penny, Kenny Gainwell, whoever, can have a big night on Monday versus Kansas City. Now, there's expected to be plenty more stuff happening Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday, so be sure to go ahead and subscribe here and join the over 27,000 people who have already subscribed to this show, and make sure that this is their number one stop shop for everything happening with Philadelphia. That's my promise to you, and we're just going to keep growing as we march towards 28,000. I'm Thomas Mott, hanging out on a Thursday. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.